Hey man, I only told this story to one group of people, and it was my 16U travel ball team, baseball, back in Nashville a few years back. And it was a story, man, because I had to tell them because we was going through bullying on the team. The team was bullying one individual, and I resonated with that individual because I was like him, growing up. I got bullied a lot when I was a kid, and then even in the my adult years as well, where I was in between the ages of 8 to 11. I'm not sure exactly what age, but I went into the kitchen, man. I was at home. It was just me and my brother. My parents worked a lot. And I went to the kitchen, grabbed the knife from the drawer, and I held it to my wrist. And I asked myself, who would miss me? Right? Think about it. I'm 8 to 11 years old, aware enough to know that if I grabbed this knife and I slit my wrist, I could potentially unalive myself. And my brother, he has cerebral palsy, so if I were to do that, he wouldn't be able to help me the way I needed to be helped, right? And I was thinking about that last night. I'm not sure what made me think about that because I just know how I would say kids can be cruel, but adults that don't heal themselves still have that childlike mentality, still have that kid mindset where they still bully others because they are intimidated by them when they become adults. This is a fact, right? So it starts off when we're children, but it still ends up when we're adults. That's where the gossiping comes into play. People talking about people all the time, right? And not letting people, just be who they are. People don't want to mind their own business. They got to talk about people, right? And people might be like, well, they're so sensitive. No, they're human. We have emotions. We feel them, right? Some people aren't strong enough to withstand those heavy emotions that people project onto others. Doesn't mean it's their fault that they are sensitive towards the words that people project onto them, right? That's why they react the way they do. But it broke my heart too when the coach told me that this individual on the team was being bullied and what was said and we was actually driving back to Nashville from a away tournament out of state, and I about cried and I'm driving. I about cried just driving. I really wanted to pull over. I was trying to hold my tears back. I didn't want to cry in front of the coach, but I didn't really care. I don't really care about crying in front of a person because it's just what it is. If I feel a certain way, I'm gonna get it out. But it was just the fact that I felt so deeply for the individual because I could resonate with him. And then a year later, there was a similar incident where I was coaching a 9U travel ball team, and this kid was I'm not sure what ethnicity he was, but essentially the kids called him um, shrimp fried rice. That was his nickname in school, and he laughed it off though. Good kid. But I'm like, man, it starts that early, and it just keeps going up. Like they called him shrimp fried rice. 9 years old. Matter of fact, he played up. I think he was 8, and I'm thinking about, okay, well, the year before, 2 years before that, I'm coaching my 16U team, similar things, and then I'm an adult, and I still see experiences like that in adulthood where individuals or calling individuals names to put them down because they're not aware or conscious of how words can potentially hurt individuals, you know, if they're not aware of how strong they really are on the inside. Because, words are just words, and that's something, sadly, that we go through in life where people feel the need to want to harm people with words, like mentally, and it can get to individuals and make them feel very self-conscious about themselves, other people in their environment, and I really feel for those individuals, man. I was, like I said, I was just thinking about that last night. Not sure why the idea popped into my head, but something I wanted to talk about because, we all have seen it, have gone through it, whether that be it be towards us or we witness it. And, we all can be better. We all can be better. Where we can be able to love everyone regardless of what it might be, culture, external appearance, internal things, it don't matter. We can all be able to become better individuals if we allow people to be themselves and accept people as themselves, opposed to what we want them to be, or if it doesn't resonate with what we do or how we approach things in life, it's just, and that's okay. Like, because we all are uniquely made. We all have different opinions, different likes, different goals. And that's the beauty of life itself. That's the beauty of being an individual, right? Opposed to, having these group or pack mentalities where, they have one goal, but within that one collective goal, there's a ton of individuals that have other wants and needs within that pack mentality. So it's just it's important for us all to understand that, simple words can eventually harm someone, whether we are aware of it or not. And it's an excuse to say, oh, well, don't be sensitive. That's an excuse for the people that are saying the words to not be conscious of what they're saying or whom it might harm, directly or indirectly. So, really, man, it's just, like I said, it's all about loving individuals, man, and understanding, thinking about what we say before we say it.